I'm Chef Candy Wallace, and I'm sitting with Chef Mark Dowling here today in Chicago. We attended a conference, a culinary conference together this weekend, really based on the future and how things are evolving through media, social media, and delivery of information. It was a very, very powerful, exciting weekend for me in this meeting. And it was fun to see the response of a lot of the deans and directors of culinary schools with regard to your new concept of online culinary training. It was really gratifying to see them react immediately as to online culinary training won't work. And at the end of the weekend, after having had a chance to explore possibilities and find out what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're about, the transformation was wonderful. It must be very gratifying for you. It's just, I found the biggest question that they seem to have, and I really want to ask you about this, is the delivery of information is absolutely wonderful. Their concern was if you're not doing a cooking lab where your students are in the kitchen with you, working under your supervision, and then have you be able to rate and advise them on the delivery of what they had crafted. How do you address that online?
That's a great question, and I want to say, first of all, that for the group to be receptive was remarkable.
It was.
And as a teacher, two people always learn, the student and you. So it's good when we have educators, culinary educators and hospitality educators who are truly open-minded and are in this business because they like to learn. Mm-hmm. So that was gratifying to see that they understood that in the end. The process of evaluating someone's lab work, the question is asked, well, you don't taste it, you can't smell it. And that's what brings it down to, I guess, the crux of it is, if a recipe is accurate and they follow the recipe and they prepare it according to our standards, there's a 7-day-a-week, 24-hour/7 phone line they can call to speak to the chef mentor live.
So they have a chef mentor?
Yes, they have a chef mentor, and there's a toll-free number we have instituted 24/7 now, worldwide. We have coverage from Europe to California and all the way to New York now via live chef mentor. Chef mentor is plural. So they can call right away. But the thing is, I think it's the idea of a chef instructor tasting 17 shrimp creoles doesn't happen in a lab setting. I've taught and I've been a student. It's not possible to taste 16 different fish velouté sauces, because by the third one, you're just blessing it. Mm-hmm. So the important point for online is that the student seriously prepares a dish according to the recipe as given, and that they take a picture of the preparation. And there's a rubric that we use for each one of the recipes, and they're specific to mise en place, but the most important one is flavor mastery and seasoning. Mm-hmm. And that rubric describes what they should be tasting. And if they just cut and paste our rubric or our criteria, we know they haven't tasted it, and we reject the submittal.
Well, that's a good idea, yes.
So it has to be in their own words. What did that New England clam chowder taste like? We asked them for the different flavor mastering and seasoning of that dish and what they tasted so that we know that they tasted it. Well, if they don't like a specific dish, or maybe they live by themselves, well, there's always a neighbor or relative to knock on the door and say, can you taste my New England clam chowder? I'm not sure if I did it right. Mm-hmm. So they prepare the dish, they describe that, they use the 5 or 7 pictures and upload the picture, and they do a self-evaluation of that New England clam chowder that they prepared. Matter of fact, there's more detail in the classroom, because in the classroom, a student will make a dish, and many times they don't even taste what they prepare.
Mm-hmm. That's very, very true.
And peer-to-peer, if there's one instructor, 19 people, you get around, but the students also help each other. So we find that the self-adaptive interactive learning online, they also help each other by either texting or posting on the website.
Oh, that's great, because it's useful. So what I'm hearing you say is that the student will prepare the recipe based on the instructions that they receive in the program.
Not only the recipe, but the criteria, the rubric, which we would use if we were in the classroom, they have that as well.
Excellent.
As part of their content.
And they're recording that.
And they must do a self-assessment.
Okay.
They must upload the picture or video to show us that preparation.
They're returning to you.
That's correct. And then we, the chef mentors, grade those pictures or videos based on the rubric or the criteria we specify for that dish, and it's a numeric grade. If not, they have resubmit. If they leave out the very important points, we can allow maybe the knife was crooked or the plate was turned left to right.
Sure, because you're able to view their technique.
Right.
Let me ask you this, though. What is the telephone number for if they get into trouble and need help or assistance?
Yes, it's
so
a
it's like
toll-free
an
number
SOS.
worldwide. So it's operates 24/7, so you can get a chef online.
That's wonderful.
On the phone, I mean.
A live chef online.
On the
That's
phone.
Wonderful. So they're submitting information to you electronically, which is wonderful, that each one of the mentors is reviewing, grading, and returning to the student. And then is it subject to discussion so that you can help them refashion whatever it is that they did and resubmit.
We tell them, you sure you want these pictures? You got an 82. We think these two subject items are a bit weak. You sure you want them part of your e-portfolio? Because this becomes part of an electronic portfolio, which is outward facing.
Oh, that's wonderful.
To an employer or their family or a potential client or a future client. They're building a customer base for their own business. And we say, you sure you got a 72, you passed, but you sure those are the pictures you want in your e-portfolio?
So the
and
wonderful
they go,
thing,
oh, chef, okay, I'll redo it. And we always give them that opportunity to do so.
That the students have an individual, an advisor that they have a relationship with. There's trust and advice.
That's right.
So they're not just submitting photos of their work into an electronic abyss.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
that's
exactly
very powerful.
Right.
Very powerful.
We have a chef mentor that covers the Mideast, Europe, the Mideast, Asia Pacific, and Oceania. So we have that's accessible now. Of course, it's nighttime there now, so those students would be contacting that mentor there. And then, of course, in North America, in Europe, the time zones, we have that covered as well. So
it's lovely to know
that your
program
now.
is global.
Yeah,
that's lovely.
But that's the key, is that how do we evaluate the students' work? They prepare that dish, and many of them will go back and do it a number of times because they want it perfect.
I should think so. Well, they have the opportunity to do that.
And I sure wish culinary students in brick and mortar would have a portfolio too. And of course, we encourage and do require our brick and mortar schools to have a portfolio of their work.
Very powerful tool.
Because what have you done for 2 years or 10 months? I have a tuition bill and my diploma. Well, what else did you do? Well, we did a salmon, I think, 6 months back.
Yeah.
Well, no, chef.
This way they have a record of
here's
everything
the picture of
they've
the
done.
salmon I filleted.
I should think that employers would like that. They can take a look of exactly what the student is capable of doing.
We had a student who was hired in Atlanta for Kroger's on the basis of her e-portfolio. He had interviewed her in person. He was going to have her come back and do a cooking test. But on the basis of her e-portfolio, he hired her and said you didn't need to go through the cooking test.
You've given them a very powerful tool.
So she was really ecstatic. And that was one of our many graduates that have shown them that tool. So this is great. This is the future.
This is the future.
Vision 2020 or Epic 2020 in 2013. So we're leading the pack on that.
I think one of the wonderful things about the Escoffier group and the online, the Escoffier School of Culinary Arts, the brick and mortar schools, and also the online program, is that you do have your eyes on the future, and that you're saying to people there are new ways to get information, and we're here supplying it to you. Because yes, the culinary school system in its present iteration is wonderful. It's a great experience, but that's not the way that everyone will be able to assess information, nor do you need to be limited to that. If you're a second career person who's looking to segue out of your current career and into the food industry, this is a wonderful way to do it, because you can do it nights and weekends and work at your own pace.
Right,
but the fact that you actually have a mentor that you can look to for guidance and information, that's very powerful. So it's not like you're doing it alone just with your computer screen. You've not been abandoned to the fates.
When I think about culinary school, when I taught in the culinary arts for years, then when the class was over, the students didn't contact me. They didn't think to. We didn't offer to. We didn't give them our private number. They would email you. You might answer, you might not. So with online, it's like people expect instant response. That's what online has driven the education business, to have instant response. If they call you, if they don't hear from you right away, they'll text or email us or put it on the portal.
I think it's wonderful.
So customer demand service on the portal saying, oh, by the way, it's been all of 3 hours. Nobody's
Where's my
gotten back
answer?
to me. Yeah. So they expect instant
Well, they
feedback.
could say online, eat it while it's hot.
Right.
Here's my entree. Just came off the hotline. Please respond in 5 minutes.
They want to know because they're excited to do it. And what you mentioned about doing it on your own pace, that's what's great about it. And if you're going to invest $40,000 in culinary education, you're not sure, what a great way to try online for a small investment. And pretty much start out in the same queue with entry-level employees. So that's what's great about offering this in that way.
And there's another whole group of people that I would think would be interested in the online school, and those are the folks. I'm approached so often by individuals who will say, oh, I love to cook, and I would have loved to have gone to culinary school, but I'm a lawyer or a doctor, or I'm raising 4 kids at home, but I'm so passionate about cooking, but culinary school in 2 years isn't an option for me. It is for them now. If they want to learn knife skills, and if they want to learn soups and sauces and all about fish, they can do this, and once again, work at their own pace and have an advisor. I should think that would be very, very popular.
Oh, it's very big. It's 30% of our market are the food enthusiasts, the hobby chef. I don't think they say amateur cook because they're not amateurs. I mean, they're almost
feeding
professionals.
families. Yes.
Right. If you're a home cook, not an amateur. You have your own customers, your family and friends, your kids, your spouse, your significant others that you have to cook real food for. So that's a good part of our market.
You can literally polish the skills that you have and attain new skills, but you're able to do it online and work at your own pace and in your own time frame.
iPad, they have that tablet with a Velcro on the refrigerator. They just hit the button, it comes on, and they can cook along with us. You know, refrigerators now have TVs in them. Right? You can buy a refrigerator with TVs.
Good Lord, soon they'll have TVs in the shower. That's a frightening aspect. You know, I'm approached so often. My doctor is a very talented cook. He entertains quite a bit, and he teaches healthy cooking classes at several of the local spas in San Diego. And he's often said, Candy, I'm going to leave medicine and become a personal chef. And I'm always telling him, in our organization of personal chefs, we have a lot of second career chefs, but we tease them about being recovering physicians and attorneys and architects and teachers.
Why don't you tell us about the American Personal and Private Chef Association, Chef Candy, today while you're here with us?
I'd be happy to. It's an organization that I founded and created 20 years ago when I closed a restaurant. And my feeling was that too many people in this country do not know how to cook. And too many people were relying on fast food, food out of the freezer section, out of convenience. Because most of the advertising and marketing since World War II were fast is good, fast is good, fast is good. And what it seemed to me at this point, that fast is just fast. And that people needed to learn how to take care of themselves and how to eat responsibly and how to eat food that's prepared from fresh ingredients. I think what happened is once Mom and Grandma went into the workplace, nobody passed on cooking skills to their children. So there really is this is probably 3rd generation of individuals who don't know how to cook. So I thought, what a wonderful way for professional culinary people who are looking to get out of commercial cooking situations, restaurants, hotels, catering companies, and own a business of their own. We could cook privately for people who are looking for Monday through Friday meal support. And we could spend the time to develop custom designed palate specific meals for those people out of all fresh ingredients. We, in some cases, are replacing Mom and Grandma in some households, making sure that people are eating food that sustains them and that contributes to their well-being and the quality of their lives. And that also puts time in their lives to be able to eat with their loved ones. So that was my brilliant idea. I created it for myself when I left the restaurant business 20 years ago. And I was so overjoyed with how happy I was and what I was doing, I started talking about it to friends and former colleagues. And my husband took several of the newspaper articles that were written about me. Several of them were syndicated, and put them on something brand new 20 years ago called the internet.
This is very exciting to hear how the genesis of your business. This is wonderful.
I accused him of doing this intentionally because now I travel constantly. I'm gone almost every weekend teaching, and he can watch unlimited sports without me whining or barking at him. So I'm sure Dennis did that to get me out on the road so that he can have an uninterrupted, peaceful football or basketball weekend.
Tell me about the conferences you do with the American Personal and Private Chefs. You have conferences, understand?
Oh, we teach all over the country. I teach in culinary schools. I teach through culinary organizations. I've taught through the American Culinary Federation and Women Chefs and Restaurateurs and International Association of Culinary Professionals. And we also teach live seminars every month. We have 3 different training programs: a home study program, a live seminar for people who prefer to hear it and ask questions and learn live experientially.
A live webcast.
Well, we also do webcasts, but we also have a virtual seminar where we send the training materials in the hard copy, and we also send a series of DVDs of a live seminar so folks can follow along. That's a virtual seminar. We did this because everyone absorbs information differently, and we wanted to make sure that everybody had the opportunity to select a training module that they were going to be comfortable with and that was going to support them in their desire to be able to own and operate a business of their own cooking. But it's a joyous career path. We literally are paid to shop, cook, and oftentimes nurture. So for those of us who not only show up in the world through food, it's also for those of us who show up in the world. Isn't that attractive?
You cook for families.
Oh yeah, it's also a way for those of us who show up in the world through contribution to make a significant contribution to that person or that family's well-being and the quality of their lives. You know, I'm a huge proponent of families eating together. I grew up that way. I feel strongly that it's a way for parents and families to celebrate their relationship. Also an opportunity for parents to teach their children some social skills and show them how to have a conversation and to defend an opinion or a point. You know, I truly have a feeling that if more children ate dinner at home and could negotiate a conversation and defend a point, there would be less random violence in the schools.
So your personal and private chefs can provide that.
We are teachers. Yeah, we are absolutely.
Provide the family to sit down and enjoy their food.
Absolutely. We'll participate with this family as much or as little as they like. We actually will teach cooking classes for the family to show them how to be in the kitchen together, how to construct a meal together so that they can sit down and eat it together. I'm in Southern California. We also offer our clients the opportunity. We'll teach a mini food safety class for that family so that they know how to be safe in their own kitchens and
very many happy families.
We love that. Well, I have 2 different clients. They've been with me for 18 years. No, 19 years now. So, you know, they keep saying, oh, you travel so much, we're going to lose you, you're going to get too busy. And I said, you know, you're probably right, so now's a really good time to start offering me bribes. You know, they're wonderful people. I care about my clients, and as most other personal chefs do. But this is a way for those of us who are professionals, those of us who are passionate home cooks. They can also be very successful in the personal chef business because they would be working for clients who are looking for someone to come in and prepare meals for them that they would prepare for their own family if they had the time. There are other clients who want a professional chef, a certified executive chef, who can come in and do fine dining programs for them. We can work for medically challenged clients. Some of our chefs work only for seniors because the seniors that we're cooking for now, they consider themselves ageless. They want to be active. They want to be mountain climbing and golfing, and they said they don't choose to see the inside of a grocery store again anytime soon, and that although they love to dine out, they don't choose to dine out every single night. So we could put together a program that sustains them from a sense of well-being, but it's also adventurous so that they can dine out at home. So there's a lot to it. It's deeply satisfying for the chef because not only are we paid every day to shop and cook fresh, creative because every client is different and every day is different and the food is always different. But it's also satisfying from a standpoint of the fact that we know that what we do makes an enormous impact in our clients' lives. I've been doing this for 20 years and my feet hit the floor in the morning and it's yahoo! I love my life. And it's wonderful to be my age and be able to say that. But I am not unusual as a personal or a private chef to be able to say that. So life is good.
Very exciting.
Yeah, thank you.